So when I figured that maybe today I would do some no bullshit and cover him, I was like, God, what are we gonna cover? Because no bullshit is extremely stupid. He is a white supremacist. I know that like if you're not very clued in to no bullshit's past and stuff, that might you might doubt that, but he is. He is a white supremacist. Um, and no bullshit. Every video no bullshit has ever made is fucking horrendous. He's very very bad. He's not entertaining. He's stupid. He doesn't. He is not a good person, nor is he a good content creator, and he's not a smart person either. And basically every single one of his videos is about the most cookie cutter anti SJW bullshit that you can think of. This one is called Sprite's new Pride ad gets woke. Now, I try not to cover no bullshit too often because, for one, I don't want it to seem like he's living rent free in my head. He's really not. I don't think about him much. But also, he's really low hanging fruit. It's really easy to just cover no bullshit and get a ton of viewers, and for everyone in chat to just sort of be able to jack each other off about how stupid and terrible he is, right? I usually try to aim for a bit higher of a target, right? But it's Christmas. Well, it's the first day of 12 days of Christmas. I feel we should start a little light, a little easy, and we're gonna do no bullshit, okay? So this video is Sprite's new ad gets woke. The last time I covered a topic like this was when he did a video about the Gillette ad. He did, like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but way back in, like, May, I think it was, Gillette did an ad where they featured a trans man shaving for the first time. And it was like the father and son bonding over the son having grown his first facial hair because he'd been on testosterone for a while, I would assume. And so it was a really heartfelt ad. It was cool. At the same time, though, it's like like there is a line you have to walk where you don't want to praise corporations for the performative wokeness. Because, you know, corporations at the end of the day, they exploit the workers, they're bad. But at the same time, even if it's coming from an evil corporation, you know, all corporations are evil. Even if it's coming from a corporation, you kind of want to celebrate representation, right? Especially trans representation nowadays. And so there's kind of a tightrope that you have to walk there. I've yet to see, yeah, I am anti-capitalist. I am a leftist. Hey, New Mosaic, thank you for the $5. Says, I have a job now, so I can donate. Fuck yeah, New Mosaic. I think in the last stream you said that you were getting one. So it looks like you went through with it. Nice. Fuck yeah, dude. I appreciate it. But yeah, I hadn't seen the Sprite ad this is referencing. I should probably preface this by saying that. I have no idea what the Sprite ad was about. There was like a woman like drinking some Sprite in the thumbnail. I don't know if that's related to the ad itself. It might not be, because no bullshit is like really fucking weird. We'll probably see it in this video. At the end of most of his videos, what he'll do is he'll do what I like to call booby time, where he just brings up a random video with no sound of just like a random woman putting on makeup, like a random hot woman. It's kind of weird that he does that, but I don't know. Also, I'm sorry, my AC outside just turned on, so if there's a little background noise, sucks, but hey. Alright, let's watch this shit. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit in terms of speed, because no bullshit talks very slow, and he's very stupid and obnoxious to listen to, so let's go.
Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we turn to talking about yet another major company who is getting woke with their advertising. They'll inevitably go broke too because of this, so let's go ahead and talk about all the details and see why. This time it's...
Okay, already, listen, I'm so sorry I have to subject you guys to this. No Bullshit is, like, really fucking hard to listen to. So, No Bullshit's motto is go woke, go broke, right? So by go woke, he means have a brown person, have a woman, have a trans person, have a gay person, anything like that, in anything. And so it's weird that he says go woke, go broke, but at the same time, every single company that he's covered that's gone woke and will go broke, or he says he will, hasn't. Gillette isn't going broke. None of the companies that he's covered going woke have gone broke, and I guarantee Sprite isn't going to go broke either. because especially not because they decide to go woke. But already, no bullshit being dumb. Nothing special about that.
It's the soda company called Sprite, who is getting in on this failing left-wing inspired wave of woke advertising we've seen become a trend throughout this year and recent history. Previously, it was other companies like Gillette, Burger King, Nike, Monopoly, and Mattel, who all went through their own versions of trying to pander to social justice warriors and other alphabet people. Those campaigns all failed and caused more problems than—
Alphabet people? So if you guys don't know, alphabet people is a, it is not necessarily a dog whistle, but a nickname given to people who are like LGBT, anything in there. It's a slur, yeah. It's basically being turned to a slur. It doesn't sound as guttural as like, you know, what you'd think a slur would sound like, but it is. That's what it's meant to be. It kind of hinges on this like very dry, like not even funny joke that reactionaries have. That like, haha, acronym, the acronym is long, huh? LGBT URSTUV2 SQP. Yeah, that's their joke. It's a long sequence of letters and a couple numbers. That's the joke. Alright.
Then good for those brands too, but regardless of their horrible track records, other products like Sprite still think it's smart to go down this road. It's kind of like how SJWs keep making woke movies like Charlie's Angels from last week, despite this idea and strategy failing many times before them, like with the—
So, can I just point out, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pause this a lot, because everything No Bullshit says is bullshit. What these people used to say before was stop putting SJW shit in our media. Or no. Before, what would happen was, like, this was back in like 2013, 2014. What they would say is, they would say to feminists who do like media critique and stuff, if you want media to be more inclusive and more progressive, make your own. And then they did, and now they're bitching about it. That's literally what's happening here.
Terminator film, Ocean's 8, and Ghostbusters as well. But for some reason, the liberals like this, they never seem to learn from their mistakes. Probably because they never think they've ever done anything wrong. And they don't have enough character to admit when they're wrong either. So that's why they just constantly double down and act as if they've never failed, ever, when they clearly have over and over. Sprite used to have fun and entertaining commercials back in—
I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that. This is literally just, this is a nothing burger here. There's nothing here that I can actually respond to. Well, here's the thing, though. With No Bullshit and people like this, anything that is even... if it has any progressive themes to it whatsoever, it offends them. These reactionaries have paper-thin skin. They're precious little snowflakes. I know they accuse the left of being that, but they are. Reactionaries like No Bullshit are precious little snowflakes who get offended by anything that doesn't, you know, maintain the status quo. Anything that has even a little bit of a progressive ideology kind of in there, right? And so, yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. No Bullshit is offended, and anything that has those aspects in the media, he sees as bad and labels them as a failure, even if
in
they
the day too, with legitimate
well.
endorsements as well, like the ads they made with basketballer LeBron James, rapper Drake, and even Sting the pro wrestler. But this time, Sprite is jumping on the woke train, and they're taking cues from Gillette by making an ad for their Argentina market that's completely and totally about being pro-trans and LGBTQ alphabet people. Nothing wrong with supporting those groups either, of course, but one thing many people are noticing right—
So this is literally all that a No Bullshit video is. What he'll do is he'll virtue signal at the beginning. He'll be like, nothing wrong with supporting those groups at all. And then go on a tirade for, what do we got left? Another 11 minutes about how actually supporting these groups are bad, being one of them is bad and cringe, and being in favor of them is leftist SJW propaganda and it's bad and blah 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 blah. Literally, it's just No Bullshit saying, I'm not racist, but I'm not sexist, but I'm not homophobic, but I'm not transphobic, but it is alright.
Right off the bat is that with this new commercial, it literally has nothing to do with Sprite or soda. There's no one drinking Sprite in the commercial. There's no cans in the background. No one even mentions the product whatsoever. It's just this long, boring, overly dramatic montage of people cross-dressing and putting on makeup and wigs. Like these dudes are saving the world by wearing a dress and heels or some shit. Come on. At least with Gillette's similar ad, they had a trans boy who was growing some whiskers that needed to be shaved with a Gillette product, which came in handy. As awkward and uncomfortable as that whole thing was, at least Gillette tried to put their product in their ad. Sprite didn't though, and it just goes to show—
Can we point out that No Bullshit has already called trans women dudes in high heels and women's clothes and a wig? He's already done that. No sped up, no BS sounds like CinemaSins. The CinemaSins guy sounds like No Bullshit. They ironically enough, believe it or not, if you want to get a little bit of No Bullshit lore, he has a really fucked up history. He used to have a channel called Brooks Show, because his name is Brooks Heatherly. He had a channel on YouTube called Brooks Show, where he had a literal CinemaSins ripoff. It was just Cinema Sins. It was like everything wrong with, but they didn't call it Cinema Sins. It was everything wrong with this, and it was him just doing Cinema Sins very badly.
How little they actually care about advertising their own products. Really, their goal was to pander to woke SJWs and liberals, hoping their lip service to them will get them to buy their soda. But as we've seen time and time again, SJWs just don't buy things. That, and they're just not as prevalent and numerous and as good a customer base as most people might think. An article from CNS has...
What? SJWs just don't buy things? That... You do... Wait. You realize that, like, SJWs, whatever you... Like, listen... I know what you call an SJW, no bullshit. You call anyone who's even somewhat progressive an SJW, alright? You do realize that a significant amount of the population that you would call SJW still needs to do things like shave. They buy razors. They buy drinks. Things like that. The argument that you would make is that by pandering to a progressive audience, then everyone else is going to be offended by it or not like it, and they aren't going to spend their money on these products, so they're going to go broke. But this hasn't happened. Nike has benefited from them supporting Colin Kaepernick and all the football players and athletes that kneeled during the national anthem. Their stock has gone up. They're making more money. That they are benefiting from it. Not to mention, the only people who didn't benefit from all of that were you guys, who got so mad that you burned and flushed down the toilet the Nike and Gillette products that you already spent money on. That's what happened. Okay.
Has more details on this story. It's called Sprite launches pro-LGBT ad campaign in Argentina. Check this one out. Sprite, a product of the Coca-Cola company, has launched an ad campaign in Argentina, Sprite Argentina, that features the celebration of a gay pride parade and parents helping their sons and daughters cross-dress, apparently an endorsement of transgender expression. Maxi Itzkoff, the creative director of this...
Hold on, can we take a look at this website that he's linking here? Look, that's a weird CNS News. The right news right now. That sounds a little odd. I've never heard of CNS News. Let's see what CNS News is on Media Bias Fact Check. Let's see, what's going on here? What is this? Oh, that's not surprising. Extreme right? Huh. Questionable source. Okay. Overall, we rate CNS News questionable based on extreme right-wing bias, promotion of propaganda, and numerous failed fact checks. Extreme right propaganda, some fake news. Nice. You know, I knew just because of the type, like the way the website looked and what they said in, like, talking about cross-dressing, supposedly supporting I could tell by the way that it's written.
His pro-LGBT ad campaign in Argentina. Check this one out. Sprite, a product of the Coca-Cola company, has launched an ad campaign in Argentina, Sprite Argentina, that features the celebration of a gay pride parade and parents helping their sons and daughters cross-dress, apparently an endorsement of transgender expression. Maxi Itzkoff, the creative director of this campaign, said the purpose of the ads is to test innovation and to target young people. The campaign, created by the Argentinian marketing company Santo, hashtag No Estás Solex, You Are Not Alone, launched on October 8th on Twitter for Sprite, a brand that is under the Coca-Cola company and in partnership with Reddit, a social media platform and discussion website.
Okay, you have to be a blatantly homophobic person to read any of this and see a problem with it. You literally, you have to be just a homophobic person, like a bad person. Also, is gay marriage legal in Argentina? I would assume that a place like Argentina probably has some issues with LGBT rights. Is it legal there? I would like to think it is. I hope so. Same-sex marriage has been legal since 2010. Nice. It's actually been legal. That's pretty funny, actually. Gay marriage in Argentina has been legal longer than it's been legal in America, at least nationwide. That's pretty funny. Nice. Argentina is a bit more progressive than the US? Yeah, sounds like it.
The first video advertisement for the campaign shows various teenagers and young adults typing statements such as, "I am 21 and I don't know what to do with my life," while the song "You Will Never Walk Alone" by Jerry and the Pacemakers plays in the background. Yeah, I think the whole targeting young people with pro-transgenderism propaganda is going a bit too far, certainly. And let's keep in mind here, there's nothing wrong with being LGBTQIA or any other letter of the alphabet.
Then why is it bad for kids to know they exist? Young people in general. Like, he does this virtue signaling thing where he says there's nothing wrong with it, while also kind of sneaking in a bit of like the alphabet people slur in there. You know, just gotta get it in there because he does hate gay people. He is a white supremacist. He is a fascist. But I wonder how he's gonna justify it being wrong to teach kids about it if there's nothing wrong with being one of those people.
But when you're talking about the T1 in particular, it does mean that something is not totally right in that person's head. If they were totally unencumbered, they wouldn't be born in the wrong body and also diagnosed with gender dysphoria in the first place. Some are even comparing this to a company making a pro-anorexia campaign or pro-bipolar disorder or something else similar like that. Again, not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, it's more like a company making an ad about cancer awareness and getting treatment. Also, you don't have to have gender dysphoria to be trans. Whew. Alright.
Any of those people, we should be totally on board with accepting everyone here who doesn't break the law.
Oh yeah, this is his rant sona, by the way. His fucking rant sona first sona. Do you want to see what he looks like in real life? I have to show this every time. I'm sorry. I have to show you what this guy looks like in real life. I have to. Hold on. I have to. Who's ready? Where's the video? Fuck, where is it? People have been covering No Bullshit a lot, it looks like, lately. Why the fuck can't I type? Come on. No Bullshit IRL. I want to see it. Fuck, where is it, dude? I can't find it. Why the fuck can't I find it? I used to be able to find it so easily. Anyway, this is him. There's a picture of him. This is him. That, oh, you can't see it. Well, here is him. This is him, right here. That's him. This is him asleep at VidCon, Bunty King. Took a selfie with him. Pretty good meme. Yeah, it's No Bullshit right there. That's him. And this is his rant sona. Very nice meme. Very lacking of self-awareness.
Course, but we also don't need to promote disorders like this and prop up and treat people that have them as these great and special snowflakes who are above everyone else.
Wait, did No Bullshit like get it taken down? Wait, people in YouTube chat are saying the video is deleted. Okay, so that image that I just showed you of No Bullshit asleep at VidCon, there was like a full video of it, and you can hear him snoring, and he's like, I can't even imitate it. I wouldn't be able to. He must have had it taken down or something. There's no other reason why it would have been taken down. The fuck? That's hilarious.
That's why we're seeing so many people jump onto this trend now too, because they see all the social validation and victim points and attention people get if they claim to be an alphabet person, when really it shouldn't be something you claim for attention, or probably even claim at all. Your identity and your sexuality is something you're just born with and have very little control over. Sure, you should embrace that and accept yourself, but clearly this whole thing is taking it way too far. Among phrases in the—
I should point out he doesn't mean any of this. Like, no BS will literally, like, it's a bit like a pattern. Like, he'll start with alphabet people. I know it's a slur for LGBT people. I know. So what he'll do is he'll virtue signal and say there's nothing wrong with it, but here's why acknowledging their existence or being in support of them is bad. Once again, there's nothing wrong with it, but here's why supporting them is bad. Once again, there's nothing wrong with it, but acknowledging their existence in media is SJW propaganda and it's bad. That's what he does, and he gets a disgusting amount of views for it. Like, this is 82,000 views. Some of his other newer videos have a few 100,000 views. I mean, the dude's fucking making bank off of YouTube. Like, holy shit. This dude is making bank.
The video say, I like both boys and girls, and I am a man but I want to be a woman. At the end of the video, those statements receive various responses from other people who are going through a similar experience. See videos here. I put a link to that below. The value of a brand could be greater by creating real empathy with the youth instead of going and selling them a Sprite. Itzkoff said during a marketing festival, we got out of the habitual marketing tone and out of what we are supposed to do, and we ran away from the target cliches. Except now you're just being a cliche SJW. For the rest of the campaign, Sprite Argentina posted videos with
No Bullshit is triggered. I feel like I need to make that very obvious here. This triggers No Bullshit. Like, he's sort of this line between a grifter who doesn't care about this. Like, there's two types of people who do this. A grifter who doesn't give a fuck about this and is just doing it for the money, and someone who is genuinely, like, a bigoted person who is triggered by this kind of stuff. No Bullshit is both of these things. I saw him debate Destiny. I've seen him talking when not in a scripted video. He genuinely believes the things that he's saying, but I believe he also knows how financially beneficial this is to him to cover, to harp on this shit. He knows how much money he is to make this. He's preaching to ignorant people. You're right, Bella the Little. And so, no bullshit is triggered by Sprite here. Sprite has triggered him.
Statistics such as, we are 2,497,381 who were born in the wrong body. The video ads always conclude by saying, you are not alone, keep yourself fresh, and are a clear endorsement of the LGBT lifestyle. Right, and as I said, endorsing the alphabet lifestyle might not be bad on its own, in a vacuum, but when you realize they are pointing this degenerate ideology and bullshit towards young children, and it's being done to supposedly sell...
Can we just isolate that really quick? Can we just isolate that one sentence right there?
Endorsing the alphabet lifestyle might not be 1,381 who were born in the wrong body. The video ads always conclude by saying, you are not alone, keep yourself fresh, and are a clear endorsement of the LGBT lifestyle. Right, and as I said, endorsing the alphabet lifestyle might not be bad on its own, in a vacuum, but when you realize they are pointing this degenerate ideology and bullshit towards young children, and it's being done to supposedly sell sugar water, well, that's when questions certainly begin to arise. And here they...
It's not bad, but it's a degenerate lifestyle. How... It's, like I said, the pattern. He virtue signals. He does the virtue signal where he says there's nothing wrong with it, and then calls it degenerate and bad. It's all he does. This is all of his videos. Over and over and over again, it's all he fucking does.
They even said they are born in the wrong bodies, like I said earlier. Then they also
yeah, now, for those of you guys who don't know what no bullshit is, now you guys know why I turn it up to 1.5 speed. It's the only way you can actually sit through one of his whole videos.
Talked about men wanting to be women, as if that's just an option and an easy choice we can all make now. And sure, if you're open to all this and you buy into all this SJW propaganda, they do say you can just pick whatever gender you want to be at your own free will now. Hell, leftists are even getting so far gone, they're starting to say race is a social construct too, and you could just claim to be black.
Both of those things are true. Race is a social construct, gender is a social construct. I don't feel like I need to even say this, but if you have more than even a few brain cells, you probably know these things. No bullshit does not have more than a few brain cells. No bullshit maybe... I would be surprised if no bullshit had double-digit IQ, okay? No bullshit is extremely stupid. He cannot physically comprehend the idea of something being a social construct and also existing, because when these people hear something as a social construct like gender, sexuality, or gender or race, it makes them think that we're claiming that it doesn't exist. It's not what we're doing. We're not claiming it doesn't exist. It's socially constructed.
Black, even if you're not, just like how Sean King and Rachel Dolezal do. But in my humble opinion, if you're born a certain way, you should just work on accepting that and not be playing dress up and pretending to be something else that you're not. The video that has stirred the most comments on Twitter was one post.
That's just him saying if you're trans, just accept that you're in the wrong body and okay, cool.
On November 1st. It portrays young people getting ready for a gay pride parade and being helped by what seems to be their parents, who are adjusting their outfits and chest binders. Lastly, two girls paint a white heart on top of a gay rainbow flag. The video ends up with the statement, "Pride, what you feel when someone you love chooses to be happy." In addition to criticism from those who object to the LGBT agenda, most of the negative comments on Twitter seem to come from...
There you go, dude. I probably would have sniffed out the source that he's reading this from is like far-right propaganda just from the way it's worded here, calling it like the LGBT agenda. For those of you guys that just came in, this is literally the website he's reading from. It is classified as like far-right, extremely biased fake news.
LGBT people who are not happy with the apparent lack of racial diversity in the campaign videos. Wow, the alphabet people are being totally pandered to and catered to and everything, and they're still going to complain. Just goes to show you can never make leftists like this happy. That's why I say we shouldn't even really try. Also, didn't we already have a whole month for gay pride back in June? That whole month was dedicated to celebrating LGBTQIA pride stuff, and now we have to sit through another event and another wave of silliness just a few months later? Talk about being greedy and self-centered, and also, these people are way out of touch and think they're way more important than they actually are. Only like 4.5% of people are even alphabet letter ones anyway, but for some reason, they get like 10 or 20.
Can we just classify alphabet letters it's just a slur now? Calling someone an alphabet person? Blair White kinda did it. Blair White like referenced it a little bit in her in one of her newer videos. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Also, this isn't a point. This isn't a point. Saying, oh, they're only 4.5% of the population, so we shouldn't acknowledge their existence, and if you do, then it's SJW leftist propaganda. Not a point. no merit to that.
30% of the year to celebrate their sexualities, which is something they were born with and never had to work for or earn. I mean, celebrating a Super Bowl win is one thing, or celebrating your wedding or retirement party makes sense too, because these are one-time accomplishments that you had to work for. But taking over one whole month of a year to celebrate who you have sex with is certainly a bit much. That's why when straight people try and do the same kind of thing for ourselves, we get attacked and laughed at and condemned. And that's because, yeah, you shouldn't need to...
Because when you have a straight pride parade, the only people that show up are literal Nazis and white supremacists. You know the white... I imagine he's not going to bring it up. If he does, then I'd be surprised. But the actual white pride... or the straight pride parade happened. There was nobody there but, like, 50 to 100 Nazis. Like, well-known, like, white nationalists and Nazis. That's literally all that there were there. There were more counter-protesters there than there were actual people going there for the straight pride rally, because everyone at the straight pride rally was a fucking Nazi.
To celebrate being straight, just like you shouldn't need to celebrate being gay or anything else. Next, let's talk about the controversial pro-chest binding part of this ad. In this Sprite promo, they show a girl helping someone attach a compression strap around a female torso. This is used by some trans people who want to strap down their chests, hiding them to make them look more like a boy. This binding practice is also highly questionable, and it can also be very painful and dangerous, sometimes even squeezing a person's insides and making internal organs bleed, causing some injuries. It's like the...
Yes, if you use a chest binding incorrectly, make it too tight, or use one that does not fit you, then I can imagine it can have some bad consequences. Just like if you're putting on a bra, or if you're getting a piercing, or a tattoo. They aren't exactly comparable, but yes, sometimes people undergo things for different reasons that can be potentially harmful or somewhat uncomfortable.
Ancient practice of binding the feet of women in Asia. Chest binding is like that too, and when it's done long...
It literally isn't, because binding the feet of women in Asia was done as a fashion statement, usually forced upon the women by their husbands. Literally not comparable in any way.
Term, it can cause chronic pain and take a serious toll on someone. But Sprite and their pro-SJW ad is promoting this foul practice anyway, because they will apparently support and condone anything if it will make them look more woke and put them in the good graces of the radical leftists. And surprise, surprise.
Anybody here who's a trans dude knows... Anybody here who has more than 2 brain cells knows that chest binding is not a vile practice or a foul practice.
But there are actually a lot of liberals out there who are praising this ad and supporting its creepy message. Here, LGBTQNation.com says, see the Sprite ad for Argentina Pride taking over social media. This commercial should be the standard for LGBTQ-focused advertising. Talk about out of touch. And first of all, alphabet-focused advertising shouldn't even really be a thing. Not that we need to exclude them either, but if you're promoting a soda like Sprite, it should really be going for everyone. And if anything, they might want to focus on their average customer base, which I hate to break it to the left, but it's not the small percentage of the world that's LGBTQ. Also, as mentioned...
Also, you do realize that you can make a commercial aimed towards a certain group and make commercials aimed towards other groups, right? Like, Sprite can make an ad in one country. This is from fucking Argentina. This isn't even going to air in America, I'm pretty sure. Sprite is a multi-billion? It might be multi-billion by how big Sprite is. Sprite owns, like, a lot of different products. Sprite owns, let's see what Sprite owns. Sprite owns, let's see. So Sprite is owned by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola owns... Look at all these fucking drinks, all these different beverages. They probably own a bunch of other shit too. Probably a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They can afford to, in one country, make an ad that is targeted more towards younger LGBT people, while also making ads for... what was I thinking of? Ads for literally everybody else. They aren't exactly running low on funds or unable to have the resources to advertise towards many groups. Also, yeah, once again on the chest binding thing, NoBullshit probably wouldn't make the same argument about like corsets for women, for example.
Earlier, why would companies want to follow in the paths of other failed ad campaigns like Gillette or Nike? It's like imitating the French when you want to learn how to win a war, or trying to copy your homework off the dumbest kid in your class. Doesn't make sense at all. The ad shows several different people preparing for Pride, with the approval and support of their friends and family, to the tune of Rodgers and Hammerstein's You'll Never Walk Alone. The closing scene features a dad watching their child joining the parade's festivities as the message, Pride, what you feel when someone you love chooses to be free, fades onto the screen. On the version tweeted out by Sprite Argentina and shown in Argentina, this message is in Spanish. Of course it is. And really makes you think, doesn't it? At what point will they stop celebrating and...
Of course. Wait, why do you say of course it is, like spitefully? It was an ad in Argentina. They speak Spanish in Argentina. Of course it is. Those fucking SJWs making it in Spanish just a virtue signal to the fucking Hispanic people. It was literally an ad that was made and, to my knowledge, only aired in Argentina.
Complaining about being oppressed. At this point, alphabet people have been the opposite of oppressed for years. They have all the rights and privileges, and they even get treated better than everyone else now too. But somehow...
Actually, thanks to Blair White for telling me this, turns out acceptance of LGBT people among like teens and Zoomers is at an all-time low in the last like 40 years. Or 30 years, I believe. Acceptance of LGBT people is down right now, the lowest it's been in 30 years among Zoomers. Because people like NoBullshit and you know, all the fucking alt-right rabbit hole people exist, and they're having an effect. Younger people hate LGBT people more than they have in the last 30 years now.
They also still complain and act like oppressed victims, even though they're the center of attention all the time and everyone kisses their asses constantly. Really, it goes to show it's never enough for people.
They literally aren't, and they don't. I mean, source on this, please? There's a gay pride month. Nice. Okay. That's like the only thing I can ever bring up. Atomic Night Light. Why are you a left-winger? I am a leftist because I have more than 2 brain cells to rub together.
People like this. And these events and Pride Day celebrations, they're just going to keep expanding until every single day of the year is all about them. And also, it goes to show liberals like this will always complain and play the victim too. And they'll also beg for more and more attention, even if they're already obnoxiously in our faces all the time. And they're getting treated better than everyone else too. Finally, we do have some actual pushback coming in at the end here. Here's a petition I found with 1,000 signatures already. And they're trying to stop this woke pro-alphabet anti-straight ad campaign coming from Sprite. And while I don't agree with everything said here, I'm surely not...
This woke, go broke, anti-straight ad campaign. So this is another thing. Usually whenever like these people get super triggered about this kind of shit, they claim it's anti-straight. Being pro-LGBT is anti-straight to these people. Very good meme. Very, very, very smooth brain. But yeah, that's basically the end of it.
Not against LGBT people and their lifestyles. That can all be fine for them, and I hope everyone can live happily in their own spaces.
Oh, no, I guarantee the people signing a petition and like donating to try to get a pro-LGBT ad taken down are probably pretty anti-LGBT. But okay, that's the end of the video. It's just gonna. Do you want to see him shill his shit and like do the whole booby time?
Will you
thing?
also try and push this degenerate, creepy SJW pride bullshit onto everyone else in the public, going after teens and
creepy, degenerate LGBT pride?
Children? Well, that's when it becomes a bit too much. And there's many other people who are getting sick of this woke pandering too, which is something the left should keep in mind as well. The further they push this and the more they prop up...
I told you, he's super creepy. At the end of all of his videos, he does a little thing where he brings up just like some random pretty girl putting on makeup or talking or something. He's a very creepy dude.
Alphabet people, the more the rest of us will begin to resent them and start to feel more animosity towards them too. What do you guys think? Is Sprite clearly getting woke here? Will this ad campaign strategy finally work for once? Or will they get woke and go broke just like the rest of them? Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching NoBullshit. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see.
Literally none of these companies that NoBullshit has covered going woke and going broke have gone broke. None of them. It just hasn't happened. There's not an example that you can point to. Because surprisingly, corporations are generally pretty smart. They will always side with what makes them the most money, which is the status quo. And right now, the status quo is to be, at least right now, thanks to leftists, you know, people who are accelerationists, pushing things to be more progressive faster than society wants to change, have made it acceptable in society to be LGBT. And so now companies find it somewhat safe to advertise towards LGBT people because they know that it'll make them more money. But, I mean, you guys already knew this. NoBullshit is a genuinely fucking terrible person. He's a bad person. He is, he lacks any cognitive thought ability. He is, he's a white supremacist. I mean, he's literally said that white people are better than white men are better than every other group because they built everything and all that. He said that. He is a white supremacist. He is a misogynist. He is a waste of oxygen, yeah. And probably a plague on this earth, but hey, we had to cover him. He made a bad video. I had to do it. NoBullshit got triggered by some fucking Sprite.